All right, you guys ready? You got a white balance?
White balance for.
Make this look good.
Oh.
Hey, good afternoon. Thank you guys for joining us here today. I stand here with Chief of Staff Ed Taylor, former City Council person here in the City of Flint for 3 terms, 12 years. Myself as a former council person for 3 terms, 9 years. We stand here to talk about the very concerning levels that we have from residents and administration about the dysfunctional council meetings that's going on. For more than 7 meetings, council has lost quorum, meaning more members of council has left or not been present for the council meeting. This creates a log jam, and this log jam is getting to a concerning level for residents inside the city of Flint, bringing up very, very legitimate concerns about safety, health, and welfare of this community. This level of dysfunction where we see council members hurling and weaponizing words, coming up with a dysfunctional style of government. This is very, very concerning. Over the last few weeks, we had 3 special city council meetings trying to break the log jam, but council seems more inclined to argue with one another than not. Personal safety for residents inside the city of Flint and also here in City Hall is also a concern where we had to investigate an assault of a person here at a city council meeting, along with other threats. But the level of behavior or misbehaving from council members has reached an alarming level, not to thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, or $100,000, but millions of dollars is at risk for this council's lack of ability to be able to perfect agenda and complete it. People are just asking for for these individuals to have a vote, to get it up or down. Business owners in our downtown and throughout our city is waiting on resolutions to be completed. Homeowners are waiting for repair programs and service programs inside the city. Now, when Ed Taylor here, I'll give him an opportunity to speak about his tenure as a city council person. Never before when I watch and witness then Councilman Taylor, we've ever seen a level of dysfunction. So we know and understand what council business is like, more so than all of the council people who are currently serving. Myself, for the 9 years I was there, never witnessed or never had this level of discourse with one another to whereby, threats of violence and weaponizing of words has embarrassed citizens of this great community. It's not all council people. I want to be very clear about that. It's not all council people, but we do have some very dysfunctional individuals there that we believe that are monetizing the level of dysfunction. We believe that one council person has an entertainment contract that is involved in selling the level of dysfunction. We believe that these things are happening, but it's now harming all of us here in the city of Flint. So this is a really outpour to people from the faith community or faith leaders or educators or professionals inside the city that know that this community is on the rise and we're doing so much good here in this community that we now need to be able to have council complete and do their jobs. They sit in the seats. If they're there, they can't complete a full meeting, and this has been very problematic for residents in this community. And so we just want to alert people about where we are. We're going to continue to move forward, continue to strive, but definitely council has been very problematic. And I'm going to turn it over to Chief of Staff Ed Taylor to talk a little bit about his tenure as a council person and what it's really like to be a council person and what a functional unit of government and the legislative branch really looks like. Yeah.
Well, basically, my conversation is just going to be as being a council person. When I served, we were basically in and out of a council meeting in probably 3 hours, unless it was a public hearing where you had 100 or 200 people speaking. But also, I've noticed since I've been back around that the special affairs and the committee meetings and finance committee meetings, that now is open to the public. When I was here, it wasn't open to the public. We would get in the room, we would have our meetings along with all the department heads or anybody that the business pertained to. We would get all the information we needed, we would vet it, and then once we got to the council meeting, we would vote on it. But now you have a lot of dysfunction just with the fact that committee meetings also engages the public, whereas before that did not happen. So they've made a lot of changes since I've been gone. I've been gone ever since '05. And what is it now, 2023? So I've been gone a good while. So there's been a lot of different changes. But basically, you normally got your work done in your committee meetings. And once you went to the floor, you pretty much knew how you were going to vote. You was going to vote yes, you were going to vote no. But all of this abstaining like I see now, we didn't have anything like that. You know, abstentions now has just became a word of abstention. And that's pretty much what I got to say about it.
So what this is an opportunity for us to request of council members to complete a meeting, to complete and fulfill your obligation to the community, to this community. Fulfill that obligation. Vote yes, vote no. However you see fit to be able to lead your residents in your community. Complete an agenda. Don't log jam this city or hold things up. For residential, public safety, home building, new jobs, creation, these things are now being held hostage to the level of dysfunction. And it's embarrassing when you see people using racial slurs toward one another, or the selling and monetization of T-shirts, where we've seen some of the slurs on T-shirts that people are coming to council. The concerning levels of people bringing AR-15s to council meetings, the same weapons that's been used in mass shootings across America. This is a debilitating type of activity. But we're going to continue to maintain our focus here in the administrative office, maintain our objectivity, and make sure that people are taken care of. But definitely, we need to make sure that people understand this level of dysfunction on council should not be acceptable. And so, with that, thank you.
Obviously, this government is twofold. You have the mayor and the city council. Have a good day. What can you, as your branch, do to move things forward? Or are we at a crossroads like our national government? We're just stuck at this point, and we can't move the city forward.
Well, what's been happening, what we've seen is this administrator has been using everything legally possible to be able to make sure that we can move government forward. We've seen this administrative office engage in emergency purchase activity to protect health and welfare and safety of residents in this community. We've done that. We've seen this administration place metal detectors in to be able to protect the people that's coming to do business. So what's happening now is that if people are actually monetizing the level of dysfunction in that branch of government, we need to make sure that we can get rid of that. We can need to purge that out so business can get done. So we're working very hard to be able to work with some council members, and some council members have been workable, trying to get things done. But when you have a level of chaos and people dedicated to not participating and or disruptions, we've seen a council member, over the course of a career, been ejected from council several times, sometimes through incarceration or level of dysfunction or lawsuits. But this all costs taxpayers time and money. Frivolous lawsuits, and this is what the judge has been saying in one case, frivolous lawsuit where a council person is now being garnished to repay the residents of this great community. But doesn't stop the lawsuits from coming or the dysfunction from happening. This is problematic, and this we need to be able to be proactive about engaging. We just want to complete agenda items and get agenda items done. And if residents out there, if your council person is one of the ones that's not showing up, breaking quorum, not voting, it's up to the people to be able to let them know that this is not acceptable. This is an embarrassment when we're doing so much good work here inside the city of Flint. We are doing a wonderful job growing. We've been blessed as a community, but definitely now where business owners are calling, residents are calling, they're saying what is going on, they need to understand what the level of dysfunction is, much like last night where they did not complete another agenda, failed for a lack of quorum, as the previous meeting failed for a lack of a quorum, as the meeting before that failed for a lack of quorum. And so a lot of items are now clogged up in the system, and now it's impacting business owners and residents alike.
Are you able to use an executive pen and just kind of like pushing things forward through the city, or are we at this stalemate kind of permanently at this point?
Well, it's no stalemate. We're going to make sure that we do all things necessary to be able to complete those items that's going to protect health and welfare for residents. But definitely, when people and some council members have done this, hold the city hostage for certain things. In this case, you know, just the agenda and other council members. This dysfunction is internal, is self-inflicted wounds. They're fighting with one another to the detriment of the whole full community. We're not at a total impasse. We're still trying to work our way through. We're not at that point yet, but definitely it is definitely slowing down all operations of a recovering community, and we're at that recovery space right now. And this is just making sure residents are aware of what things are, whether it be the garbage contract, Burston Field House, RX Kids taking care of families and babies, homeowner repair, sales for local business owners to be able to increase the quality of business that they provide for residents in the city. These are the things that's in front of council currently now that they're very holding up, and they're not moving on it, but they're moving very slow. Opioid dollars for people in the recovering community, education for people not to get engaged in nefarious activity as it relates to drug addiction. We have a rise of people that are overdosing in this community, and we need to make sure we put those monies to bear to help those family members to be able to prepare a good place for residents to live with home development, places to live, affordable spaces for people to live. All these things are being slowed down, where now we're looking at losing grant opportunities of millions of dollars, and these dollars will revisit themselves in other communities because of the level of dysfunction. And that is a problem for every resident when we're talking about moving forward and growing our community. Instead of having a bitter nature of hostility toward one another to where they can't even complete a meeting, and they're failing on the job that the residents have put them there to do, and I call it governmental malpractice from that body of government.
Mayor Neely, yesterday there was a separately held press conference held by two council members where the thought of there may be some issues between council and the mayor's office, kind of causing some issues between the both right now. Just kind of pointing the finger at the mayor's office right now. Just kind of put that out there. But on top of that, just one thing that was kind of brought up during last night's meeting, talking about the opioid settlement funds right there, is that they're saying that they're not really getting too much of detailed information. So can you kind of clear that up, or what's been happening with that? Is information being shared with council? Is council just not thoroughly looking through things, or what's going on?
Well, people can just witness what's been going on about those dollars. Resolutions, there were 4 resolutions up last night using opioid dollars, providing beds for residents, for med health, psych health for people that's recovering that need bed spaces, or prevention type of engagement, or actually dispersing of Narcan kits for those overdosing. Those individuals are, I would suspect that they're being deliberately dishonest, much like they have been on council, and their behavior has been just that. The things and the information is there, but they're cloaking themselves behind excuses. How many excuses do you have to have before you move on something? All those agenda items were there. Those individuals that said they wanted to move on items failed to do so. They broke quorum again. And so you can judge any individual based upon the actions in which they take. And so the actions in which they take on several occasions, they have failed to move things forward. We've seen things moving in a positive way. Burston Field House, largest recreation center in Genesee County, and slated to be the best one in the state of art. There's another $1 million on the table for that, which will get another $1 million from the philanthropic community. They failed on that. They also failed on moving money toward the insight investment, making sure that people with addiction has a place to go. I believe addiction is a disease, and we must invest in making sure people have an opportunity to recover from that disease. They failed to vote on that. Help stations has been in service to this community for the period throughout the water crisis for many years. They failed to move on these tested and proven places and spaces. And so the excuse that they make, they only making it to themselves. People are wise in this community. And those same individuals that may have participated in that conference also disputed the safe environment for residents to come and engage their government against metal detectors, providing safe spaces, as they both have said. Those individuals may have said that they were under threats as well. So they've been very disingenuous in their comments and in their actions, and it's up to the people to be able to judge for them. But definitely, I believe many of them have been deliberately dishonest with themselves and with their colleagues, and they have a decision to make. And if they don't have the level of information, vote no. Vote yes or no. And so they choose not to vote or not to participate or do their jobs. So they have the opportunity to vote no or yes for any particular thing. Much like I said with Ed Taylor here, myself, 21 years of council experience, we always voted yay or nay, depending upon the situation and the merits of whatever's in front of us. So with that said, the resolutions are there. Vote it up or vote it down.
One other thing I've noticed here, the level of knowing council rules here, I guess we'll kind of go back to last week when a quorum was broke. It was seems to be because of a lack of knowing how to either break a meeting or keep a meeting going, adjourn, and things like that. It seems to kind of be on varying levels between all council members. But just seeing it from the mayor's administration side, how do you kind of get a solution for that? Is there a way to educate all these council members so that these issues like that don't happen?
Well, they've been offered opportunities for training dollars for them to go participate in training mechanisms like done by Michigan Municipal League, which is a resource center for all municipalities inside the state of Michigan. They've been also offered an opportunity to have a parliamentarian sitting at their roster with them to be able to help them effectuate rules and engage in a level of organization. Right now, no parliamentarian has been secured, even though the budget type items have been placed there to be able to support that through funding. No parliamentarian has accepted the responsibility for coming to help this council body out after witnessing their behavior with one another. And so the only thing we can offer them is resources to be able to engage that, or a level of tutelage or that we have here in the administrative office with 21 years of experience to that level. But not all council people are bad or performing in this area, in this way. But we have to really weed out those individuals that may not be engaged. So the opportunity for retraining is what I prefer for them, to be able to operate with a rule set where they're not calling each other names or weaponizing words. That is our goal. I've offered the olive branch with the council for those individuals that think they need more information. We meet with them regularly, but definitely I think many of those individuals that would stand out there and say they don't have enough information to follow the rule set. They violated the charter last year by not completing the budget by the set date. They violated the charter by not having the number of meetings in a month that they said they would have. They violate rule sets all the time, and it could be the lack of knowing, but we're trying to help them get through this. But this is a problem when people are starting to suffer as a byproduct. It's not a war with me, it's a war with themselves in that body. And they have the opportunity to vote yay or nay if they're in their seats to complete a meeting, and they have not completed meetings. Thank you, that's really it. Unless you got one. All right, thank you. I gave you a lot.
Can I ask you about the garbage contract?
Oh yeah, you can ask about that.
Because obviously we've heard it from two sides of council this week about the garbage contract. I want to give you an opportunity to respond to it as well, because we heard a lot of, I'll just call them facts at this point because I don't know what they were, but we heard a lot of information from different points of council in the last 2 days. One of them yesterday to the tune of that if we approve this garbage contract, we could be in a $5 million deficit as a city. Can you respond to any of this and kind of, I guess, re-explain some of this to folks here in the city?
I learned at a very early age that you don't respond to what I consider insanity. The data's there, the facts are there. If they don't believe it's good, vote no. If they believe it's good, vote yes. But vote. And so let it go to a vote. And so the fact that they're not voting after we provided all the good information for them, the fact of it is that we will lose out the opportunity of $4 million grant that provides residents with 96-gallon cans for recyclable and for waste. Vote. If they believe it not to be good, vote no. If you believe it to be good, vote yes. It will not create a level of a deficit. We will always pick up garbage as we always have, but the idea is to stabilize costs for residents. This stabilizes costs for residents. The proposal that's in front of them, it will hold the rates, and I'm saying it here on camera, it will hold the rates for residents until 2028, using American Rescue Plan dollars to backfill any incurred increase that they would have. But definitely residents will lose out on the benefit of moving our garbage service forward. We have the opportunity now to catch up with the out-county area. Flint is good and as great as any other community inside the state of Michigan. This is the advancement of what garbage collection is moving toward. Now we have an opportunity to, and a blessing to get a grant to be able to pay for cans for every residential structure in the city of Flint. So if they believe it's not good, vote. Vote no. Don't have a press conference. Have a meeting. Have an agenda. Vote. Let it come to a vote, and then we'll move from there. But residents will suffer as a byproduct of it because they won't let it go to a vote. If they so strongly with their position, vote. If they're so convinced in their positioning, vote. And we can move on. But they have not even got there to even vote. So they've been very inconsiderate of the community to even let it get to a vote.